All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hour number 2, Friday edition, Steve Malzberg Show. It's been a very busy day. Of course, we have the jury in the Boston bombing trial, the sentencing phase, coming back with the verdict of death. He will get the death penalty. Now, we just had Kendall Coffey on in the previous segment, famed attorney, who speculated that he could be put to death in a relatively speaking short amount of time, because so many of the appellate issues that would come up in the appeals process when you're on death row have been addressed. So he said 5 years or less is very possible. Let's hope that Kendall Coffey is right. And kudos to the jury in Boston for getting it right as well. Then we have a report that I saw on CNN just moments ago that said that the conductor of the ill-fated Amtrak train, which crashed in Philadelphia the other night, that the conductor heard the engineer say that something had hit the train. Now, that's not been confirmed yet, but that's what the report on CNN was. Now, it's interesting because earlier in the week there was another report that a commuter train, not an Amtrak train, but a different train, different commuter train, same area, had been hit with a projectile shortly before the Amtrak crash. So maybe something was going on. Maybe there's a circumstance that we have not taken into account because we're not privy to it yet. But if these two things are true, then there seems to be something going on. I don't know what. I'm not making assumptions. We'll have to wait and see. But that's breaking news also. The conductor saying that the engineer said the train was struck by something. When he said this, as it was happening after the fact, I don't know. Also, you know, we've done a lot on EMPs, possible EMP attack, God forbid, taking down our grid system here. There's a report in the Washington Examiner saying that federal officials, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, voted 5-0 to finish the process of creating a new reliability standard that will govern the electric transmission systems and protect them from EMP attacks. Now, let's hope it's not too late, as this article also says, and let's hope it gets done. Folks, we're going to come back with a man who I've known for a long time. He was a slave as a child in Sudan. He was a slave as a child in Sudan. He's here. He's starting a hunger strike. He's going to tell us why. But first, let's go back to Barack Obama and something he once had to say about Sudan.
Today I want to speak directly to you, the people of Sudan and South Sudan. In your lives, you've endured extraordinary hardship. You carry in your hearts the memory of family and friends you've lost. But in recent years, against great odds, you've made remarkable progress toward breaking the violent cycles of the past, toward building a future of peace and greater prosperity. Now all that progress is at risk of unraveling. So my message to you today is simple. It doesn't have to be this way. Conflict is not inevitable.
All right, folks, that was President Obama back in 2012. Joining us now is a man that I've known for 20 years or so, Simon Deng, Sudanese human rights activist. He himself a survivor of child slavery in Sudan. It's great to see you, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Great to see you. And he is embarking on a hunger strike beginning today until President Obama takes action to save the lives of his fellow Christians in South Sudan who are under attack from Muslims in the north. And that's a story we hear no matter what the region is or where it's happening. It's Christians under attack from Muslims around the world. Talk about, I mean, Obama's let you down, has he not?
Well, Steve, when it comes to the issue of Southern Sudan today, and everybody knows of the conflicts which took place before independence between the North and the South. Today, the whole thing is different from what used to be. It is the Southern Sudanese are slaughtering one another. It is the Southern Sudanese, the conflict started from the office of the president and the vice presidents. They are the one who brought the catastrophe to the people of Southern Sudan, left 70,000 dead in 3 months, 70,000. 2 million are refugees, and 1 million more went to the Northern Sudan today. 4 million are starving to death according to the UN. Even yesterday, the United Nations, the one in charge in Southern Sudan, and she said, and I quote, "It is very unbelievable, the sufferings of millions of Southern Sudanese, and nobody doing anything and nobody saying anything. Today, we are saying something. We are coming back to the person who brought that freedom to these people. We're coming back to Washington. It was Washington which brought the freedoms and the independence of Southern Sudan. Without the United States, we wouldn't have Southern Sudan as an independent nation. We're coming to ask them and tell them, the baby that you brought to the world is sick. The baby is dying. We don't want you to play the role of midwife, deliver a child and give it to the mom and walk away. Indeed, America did walk away from the people of Southern Sudan, and that's why we're coming back to them now. Let them rescue the baby that they brought to the world.
And you are in the middle of, you started a hunger strike, and you're going to Washington on Saturday, and you're going to keep this hunger strike going until what? You're going to be out in front of the White House.
If the UN saying that 4 millions are dying in Southern Sudan,
yeah.
And I'm a Southern Sudan, these are my family, these are my relatives, let me die in front of the White House on the leadership that brought freedom to these people, and let me be counted on them as one of 4 die in Washington, D.C.
Talk about who dropped the ball here. When was the ball dropped?
You know, Americans brought freedom, independence.
When? Tell the folks when.
After the independence.
Yeah, which was...
They give Southern Sudanese money. You cannot give everything to a person who doesn't know how to count.
Right.
You cannot give all billions of dollars to a person who doesn't balance the books. These money went into the hands of the rulers of Southern Sudan. It is unbelievable where 70 peoples divided $4 billion and nothing being done. No one being held accountable. Of course, Americans got upset. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, he is not happy, but that is not the solutions. If you are not happy with something, then you have to do something.
What would you like to see the President do?
We want the President now to look in the camera the way he looked in the camera before and tell the President and his deputy, Dr. Riek Machar, time has come to us to come and rescue the people of Southern Sudan, the people that we rescued when we came and brought the Sudan Peace Act, when independence was brought,
right.
It because our help. Now, if you don't obey the agreement you signed, they signed 9 agreements, nothing being implemented, nothing being honored, because nobody is there with the big sticks to hold them responsible on the agreement.
Corrupt leadership, right?
Agreement and agreement, nothing. I'm saying Americans should be the peace broker between the Southern Sudanese themselves, the way they were there between the Sudan and the North.
Right.
It is
so it's
their
different
responsibility.
Now. But is it Muslim against Christian? Is that what it is now?
No, it is not. That's why I said in the beginning, it is different this time.
Yeah.
For the first time, we never seen the gross atrocity being committed so ruthlessly, where people are being eaten by animals, dogs, people are rotted. In 3 months, 70,000 lives perished in Southern Sudan. And those in Juba consider themselves as legitimate. Of course, they are legitimate, but how can you be legitimate and then you don't have anybody to bury the dead body of your one?
Right.
That is a shame. The president now can tell them, and oil of Southern Sudan that brought revenue, and then this money being, oil being given to China, China bring the money, bring the guns, and then instead of bringing the solution, the oil become a problem.
Yeah.
What we're saying now, and what the UN saying, that oil have to be stopped, the sanction, the president talk about it, have to be done right now.
We will be in touch with you while you're on this hunger strike outside the White House throughout the days, and we appreciate you coming in. We wish you nothing but the best, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, we're coming back with more. Next up, columnist for the Wall Street Journal, James Taranto, will be here. Don't go away. You're watching the Steve Malzberg Show.